Understand what's been happening with the court case. As you're aware, I've just been appointed by the court. So it's really to give a bit of time to yourself so that I can get your views.
My views is that the entire case is basically harmful to Lena. The laws that are being broken just by this case being like it is for me is just a quintessence of injustice. And I will start with Children Act because that's the one we should in theory be focused during child proceedings. In section 1 we know that the welfare of the child is the paramount consideration, and forcing child to experience sexual abuse and emotional violence as well as other abuse is the very opposite of it. So I will just keep reading my notes about it because that's easier for me. So abuse is the very opposite of ensuring child safety, as creating risk to child's life and other children harmed by ignoring STI symptoms. Continues from 7 months and concerns about HPV virus, which is carrying. So forcing child to further exploitation by sexual activities, potentially with other children, is spreading disease across, I don't know, what Lena indicated was 10 children.
Can I ask, what evidence is there? Where did that come from? Talk me through that.
Yes, so evidence is coming first of all from disclosures of my child.
Okay, what did she say to you?
Disclosures is not only, because what she said was not enough for me to make police reports in March. There was a physical pattern of symptoms along with it. And it's a redness of intimate area. It's a redness of vagina and redness of anus when she was coming back from seeing more only. And this happened week after week on Wednesday after his time with her. After third instance, when my child came back home and before bath time was crying, heard in intimate area, of course first I had to comfort her and I have to make sure that, okay, she's now fine and I can put her to bed and do a little more thinking about it. And then on 12th March, I've called police. And the witness statement, which I shared with you, is exactly about it. Then, of course, because of cover-up of grooming, there was nothing really arranged from what police promised to do. Jack, who was involved in the case, is corrupt. I filled in complaints. I've submitted applications for review.
Why do you believe it's corrupt?
Well, I believe that if somebody is providing lies to the court, it means it's corrupt. Corruption doesn't even have to be financial, or rather, like the essence of it is just doing something that is morally wrong. And providing lies to the court is such thing.
Such as what? I'm trying to understand what the lies are. What's the factual inaccuracies that you're stating?
Well, I've shared with you the document about it. It's 31 pages of how evidence was misinterpreted or directly lied about by Jeffrey. Have you read it?
I've read, we've got a lot of the bundle, yes. There's some documents I think the legal advisors are still looking for from the court, so we get what's from the courts. But I have that. But I want to have a discussion.
Well, this is not from the court. This is document I've shared with you last week.
So did that go to NIAS Legal or to myself?
This went to both of you.
Unless it's within the court bundle, you have to get permission for any other documents to come into the proceedings. So has that document been? Is that part of the court bundle? Has that been given? Have you been given permission to provide that to the court?
So basically, during last hearing, the judge said that I have to share all my evidence with you.
That's perfect. Okay, yeah, that's fine. But what I want to do is have a discussion with you about it. So I've got it in writing, but I want to have a discussion with you about it as kind of why these views have come about and where they've come from, because there's a dispute between the views at the moment.
Well, no, it's not offense. It's not offense. We are not talking about a missing watch or about a stolen horse. We are talking about child who is being sexually abused by father, and about the judge who is forcing this child to live with this father. That's what we are talking about.
Right, so I still
We are talking about cover-up of crime. Do you understand that?
Absolutely. Well, I don't believe it's a cover-up of crime. I've been appointed by the court to kind of have these discussions with yourself and to kind of have a look at all the evidence that's been put before.
Of course,
So
you know, like
make a
we know that
recommendation.
it's a public institution, and as public institutions are working, they are being reviewed by public. If you go to CFC reviews, you know, like on Google, you can see 1 star out of 5 for public institution. Like, this is not awakening much trust, you know what I mean? Like, it seems that justice is simply not there.
So I want to get an understanding from you as to kind of the build up to this and what other information do you want me to know? Maybe that's the easiest way for us to have this conversation. What other information do you want me to know or for us to discuss today?
I don't know, there is a police report which is saying that there is sexual abuse and that should be investigated by criminal court. So I don't understand why family court is in any way involved until the criminal court has not completed their investigation.
The way the courts work is that they can work in parallel.
Yeah, unless one stops the other.
Well, they can, if the
And
police
then
have
it's
a-
called
if the police have-
obstruction, then it's called
if the police have a
obstruction.
If the police have a criminal case, then they would run that regardless of the care proceedings. They would run that regardless. They can run in parallel.
Do you want to tell me that child being stopped from disclosures will help the case, the criminal case?
Say that again, sorry, I missed that bit. What will?
Do you believe that the child who is being silenced and stopped from disclosures and alienated from mother will help to provide more information to criminal court?
I don't quite follow.
You don't quite follow. Just for your information, I record each conversation I have around this case.
Actually, I just need to let you know I also use a transcribe.
Very good.
As well. So,
I'm glad to hear that.
So that's absolutely fine.
Please share with me.
Sorry?
You can share with me this transcript. You know, it's a good thing.
You can ask for it in the court if you wish, and then it can be provided that way. It won't be sent directly to you. It's a transcribe of the conversation we have. So the reason I'm saying I don't follow, what I would like to do is kind of have a conversation with regards to kind of any additional information you'd like me to know before I put my report into the court. So this interview isn't about anything other than trying to establish what's been happening from both parties and what the recommendations need to be to court. So if you're saying that there's issues that have come about with regards to the management of the case, then that's something absolutely, you've sent that to me. I will reference that within my report. What I have also seen is the Section 47 investigations. I've seen the Section 37 report from the local authority. So I have a very good understanding of what they've done. It's not that the court would need to be the ones to say whether that's been done appropriately or not and whether due process has been followed.
Well, it is with court. It's with different court. It's with tribunal.
Okay, that's what. Okay, so that's separate to what I'm involved in with the tribunal. So for me, what I'm having to do is make recommendations to the court regarding the care of your daughter, regarding the circumstances, and if there needs to be any further assessment or anything further that we need to be completing. So my understanding is you're wanting Lana back in your care?
Of course.
Okay, so that's your part of the court cases, that you want Lana back in your care.
She should never be removed from my care.
Sorry?
She should never be removed from my care. First of all, in the moment of childbirth, I was married, and I was married to different men. Do you know how the application for having parental rights looks like in this country.
Yes, absolutely.
Lovely, because that means that biological mother has parental rights in situation like that until biological father, by application for with appropriate forms, will make genetic testing confirming that he is the father. And for that he also needs, as far as I know, agreement from mother. So the child was removed from my care in unlawful way to start with.
Is father's name on the birth certificate?
Well, it doesn't matter because I was married.
Is father's name on the birth certificate? That was the question.
This is High Court matter with C66. Because yes, it is, also my surname on the birth certificate is different. Because
okay,
I was married.
Legally, I can tell you where it is legally within the UK. If the father is named on the birth certificate, then they automatically get parental responsibility.
No, it's not true. They still have to apply if mother was married at the time of childbirth. That's what is the truth. And if there is any dispute, that kind of matter is going to High Court. That's applicable law in this country.
Okay, so
I like to read, especially if I'm being harmed.
What information would you like me to know, or additional information would you like me to take into account for the recommendations I'm going to make to court?
Davis is also alcoholic, not only sex addict. He is also alcoholic. This is quite important thing.
Okay. When did you? Has that always been the case, or is that something more recent?
This is something that probably was always the case, but it never stopped.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about you and your time together and your relationship. How long were you together?
3 years.
Okay, when did you separate?
He moved out of my and Lena's life in December 2022. And he moved because he decided to go for polyamory and bisexuality. And for me, if that was during his time, it was not enough of the reason to say, oh, this is something that I have to separate from my child, because I did not suspect that pedophilia is linked to that as well. So this started in December 2022.
Okay, and when did you...
And final separation, like from then we were like it was like coming back together, because I still believe that somehow he can change and there could be this full family model, but it was never possible with him. And finally, like the final breakup, when I said that I don't want anything ever like that with any more attempts, was in January 2024.
Okay, and when did you notice the difficulties within your relationship?
In 2022.
And when did you notice the concerns around your daughter? When did that first come to your attention?
It started in December 22 really, because that's when the nightmares started. She started to have like bad dreams. Mm-hmm. And she started to wake up at night, and it was weird. And also she started to be wary of other children. The nightmares were, for example, about something biting her in her trousers, or about ring bells being too loud, and then about that kind of sensory stuff, which I could not really understood at the time. But of course, I'm starting to sell his neurodivergence agenda about it. But this never really answered the questions about Len. And I've tried to address that with GP and with school until I've understood that this is simply reaction to abuse. I was not able to understand.
Has Lana ever said any disclosures? Has she ever said anything?
Yes.
Okay. Can you pinpoint that for me? When was that? When was the first time anything was said to you?
It was in March. It was when I made the report.
Okay, so that was the first time that she'd vocalised or articulated that something wasn't right.
Yes, but then over those 3 weeks, when contact with was stopped, there was lots of disclosures from her. The initial police report did not really contain as much as what Lena shared with those 3 weeks, because she shared that he was touching her with, like, her vagina and her bottom with his hands and with his tongue. There were other things, like she was expressing being scared of AIDS, which is a bit weird, and especially with consideration that she was like in the Montessori school, which has only 7 children and mostly younger than her. No way there was anything about it there. So there is constantly like this STI fear, because first of all, he infected me with HPV 16, and I had like precancerous changes which had to be removed. And this is STI. So.
And what's your current situation at the moment? Are you still living in London? What's the?
No, I'm living in Buckinghamshire.
Okay, and is your property, obviously, have you moved there since Lana has been gone to?
Yes. I had to move because of as well financial abuse along with the court case. So that's how it works.
Okay.
That's what they do to women in this country.
Okay. All right. So what I'm doing at the moment, I'm just trying to pull together all the information about for what we've been sent. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of information to read through and to go through, which is what I'm doing at the moment. I am going to go and see Lana to obviously see where she's living and how she is at the moment. What your contacts, are they still taking place?
Yes, I have a supervised contact with my child while not being investigated about her sexual abuse.
Okay, and how's that going?
Well, it's emotionally very difficult for me to let her go to abuser after.
Okay, how's Lana coping with the contact?
Well, Lena, of course, wants to usually stay for longer, and she was all asking to. It's very hard because she was, for example, telling the story about burning house and about running away from this burning house to go and to live with me, which applies that she's being threatened by groomers.
Well, how does that imply that?
How does that imply that? Well,
Yeah,
let me explain to you how the human brain works. So if you have a child at this age, it has a brain. Inside the brain, you have a networks of neurons which are learning.
Yes, Ursula, please. What I'm asking you is how has that conclusion come about by yourself? So I'm not asking you to describe the human brain to me. I'm asking you to tell me how you have come about that is what the interpretation of what Lana has said. So if you could answer me that'd be really lovely.
Okay, I have a child who is telling me that dad is taking her to playrooms which are based in the Mary School, where are other girls and guys with big beds. As a parent, I have a partial disclosures in this description. And if I find resources about what could be the reason for child to saying such things, it's usually in organized crime and organized abuse. That's why. And then when child is saying and drawing things like burning house and writing along it, spy, by, well, this is pretty scary experience for parent who can't do anything because this is happening during supervised session, isn't it?
Okay. So when did that information come to light? What's the timeline for that?
This happened in August.
In August, this August?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And with regards to yourself, is there any information I need to know about yourself? Any health conditions? Any mental health conditions?
No, I still have really reactive depression in of course in response to the case.
Right, okay. You're on any medication for that at the moment? Are you getting
No,
support?
I'm not on the medication.
Okay, are you getting any support with regards to the court proceedings or...
Yes, I received support from GP, but they cannot really help with bringing back justice, do they?
Okay. And you're not legally represented, are you? You're representing yourself?
Well, no, because of cyber attacks and the fact that Davis is controlling my devices.
Okay, so how is he controlling your devices?
Yeah, he's controlling like that through data sets. It's actually similar with how he is controlling all correspondence that I'm sending to CFC and how this was being stopped from processing.
So more stopping that. He's doing that.
Yes, there is even confirmation of that in the transcript from July. From the hearing.
But did you record the court hearing?
Well, I asked for transcript. Well, transcript was affected by this fraud as well. Because I'm not entirely stupid and I learn and I try to figure out things how to do to make sure that I apply in appropriate ways to higher courts. Well, I've learned how to do like OCR and apply it on the file to make it shareable with other courts. And when applying OCR on, for example, transcript or on order shared by court and copying text from one to just like plain file, I've noticed hidden text, which is not visible normally because it's in watermarking. Isn't that interesting? Like, I'm pretty sure that higher tribunal will be interested in that.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the documents because you've sent those additional documents over. I'm going to go through everything that we've been sent from the court and from yourself. If there's anything further I need to speak to you about, am I okay to give you a call, or would you prefer me to email you?
It's good to have like 1 day advance because usually I'm not checking the old email because of course it's screened. And regarding the phone call, if you write me in the email what time you want to have a phone call, that's probably is the best way, and sending message because this phone usually is also off.
Okay, that's fine. Is there any reason why we can't have an email account that you access more readily?
Yes, it's in keeping my privacy. So for CFC matter, I have what I have, which is what I had before.
Just so I know, how often do you check the email account? Just in case I send you an email and I need.
It's like once, twice a week.
All right. So the chances are you may miss something that if it's coming through to you, because we've got a court hearing in a couple of weeks and there's likely to be quite a lot of activity. Could I request that you check it just a bit more regularly over the next couple of weeks when you get to the court hearing?
I will be checking every second day then.
Lovely, thank you. I appreciate that. That's brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get through all the information. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. If I've got any further questions, then I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to look into the issues that you've raised. I'm going to have a look at all the information from the local authority, from the police, and what's been provided by yourself and from the court. And then we're in court. I believe we're in court at the end of the month. I think we're just waiting to hear what the date of that is because we haven't received anything from the court as of yet. So once we get the court date confirmed, then we'll make sure that you're aware of that as well.
During last hearing, the judge said it was 28th of October.
Yeah, we haven't had the notice of that hearing though, and it's not listed, so we need to make sure that that's listed. So we're just in the process of that at the moment.
I've applied also for like occupational and non-molestation order. So this is to be added to the hearing.
Have you made an application to the court?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then the court will deal with that.
Well, I'm not sure. So far, they don't deal with anything.
Okay, so but I don't
like they don't deal for victims. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll see if we've got sight of that as well. If not, I'll ask our legal to have sight to see if we can get sight of those applications as well. But if I could just ask you just to check your emails kind of every other day, just in case anything comes through, you will receive, because you're a litigant in person, you'll receive emails directly from the legal advisor from NIAS, because we have to communicate directly with you because you don't have a solicitor. So yeah, so we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is one more thing. Because of the STI in the background and my real fear about it, like the problem is that this is already being prolonged for like 7 months. The child did not have proper check while symptoms were there. Okay, he might have medicated her with some super medicine, which I don't know about. Maybe this was solved in some illegal way by him. But still, this is something that causes my living in fear, because I have responsibilities for this child and I love her dearly, and I'm really fearing that she may die because of this. This is very important.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I need to be very clear that the decisions are made through the courts. Whilst we make recommendations to the courts, it's the judge ultimately that makes the decisions on the case.
That's why so far my child is being very much hurt by it.
Okay, all right. So I am looking at all of that, but just to make you aware, I don't make the decisions. I make the recommendations to the court, and I look into everything, and they seek our guidance. But with regards to final orders and orders being made, that is down to the judge and down to the court. Okay, but we will, like I said, we've got all the information from yourself, and we are going through everything and looking as much as possible with it, and we'll make recommendations that we feel are proportionate and safe to do so, absolutely taking into account the concerns that you're raising.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much for your time this morning. I'll be in contact if I need any further information. But like I said, please look out on your email over the next couple of weeks, especially because we've got this court hearing coming up, just in case there's any documents that you need to review or respond to.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Have a good day.
All right. Just please read the documents I've shared.
Yes, no, absolutely. Thank you for sending those.
That's the only conversation I ever had with this worker. In her report, she wrote that my mental health is a significant concern, that my views of the world are distorted, that Lena was exposed to hospital visits by me, and that Dad presents emotional resilience and commitment. Support networks from Davis are crucial in her report, and the only concern she has is about my mental health. This is against opinion of psychiatrist who was consulted about it in June, and he said in brief, I did not find Mrs. to be subject to a psychotic illness. She spoke in a goal-oriented way. Based on my conversation, I did not have reasons to believe that Pietka's contact is in any way danger to her daughter. Signed by psychiatrist specialist. 500,000 children are estimated to be sexually abused every year, and from this, on protection plan is less than 1%. Grooming cover-up goes through family courts.